What's up, MMA fans, and welcome to JM Octagon, where we talk about everything mixed martial arts. Man, it feels like forever since I uploaded a video, but welcome back, man. This is gonna be lit. This is gonna be awesome. I'm coming up with the new episodes. It will be one new episode every week where I get to pick, out of the comments that I got on my YouTube channel, which ones are the most crunchiest comments. So it is called MMA Crunchy comments. That's why I started this video, just so I can see how all my MMA fans are reacting to the content that I upload. And man, it has been beautiful watching, reading, and going through the comments that I get every day. Now, I also have to say that when I last uploaded a video, I had less than 500 subscribers, and today we have over 1,200, I believe, subscribers. So I want to thank you guys so much for believing in the content that I create. And for those of you who are just new to the channel, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's make it fun, let's make it enjoyable, let's make it crunchy, because that is why we are here. Anyways, welcome to this episode 1, and you are still here. Now, in this episode, I asked, between Nate Diaz versus The Rock Dwayne Johnson, if they were to fight, who would win? To put it precisely, I asked, Nate Diaz wants to fight Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Who would win in either MMA or boxing fight if these two were to fight? Of course, this is a probable fight. So with probability comes a lot of ifs. So if they were to fight, if Nate Diaz was to sign the contract, if The Rock was to sign the contract, how would this match play about, either in boxing or in MMA, using MMA rules? I wish it is in MMA rules for the obvious reason, of course, this is MMA channel, so I like to keep it clean that way. But how would The Rock do against Diaz? A majority of the people, which is 72% of the people who voted, out of 5,100 so far, because I know people are still voting, so out of 5,100 people who voted, 72% of those things that Nate Diaz would win in an MMA or boxing fight. But the comments are what makes this opinion poll more fun. Let's scroll down and see what happens. So C. Chan says, gotta go with The Rock. But the only thing that will let The Rock down is lack of endurance as the rounds go on. That is true, because The Rock is heavily muscled. The Rock has got so much, muscles that need a lot of oxygen, and to fuel those oxygen takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of breath, and as the fight goes on, third round, fourth round, fifth round, I don't know if the Rock can hold, especially if he's swinging like crazy to knock out Nate Diaz. And then the hero on Hester Payne comments saying that, Nate's a tough dude, to not use any bad words, but I don't think even his chin is gonna be strong enough to take more than a couple clean shots from Dwayne. Of course, we know Nate Diaz as one of the baddest. He's been tested in UFC, he's been rocked. Conor McGregor, rocked him pretty good. Rory McDonald gave him some good rounds, and he's been tough. I don't think he's been ever KO'd in the UFC since he started fighting. I don't know when, like long time ago. He's never been KO'd. But let's put it in perspective. Think about Francis Ngannou punching Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse. Just trying to put it into perspective. I don't know how many punches Demetrius Johnson can take from Francis Ngannou before he drops on the floor, clean cold. So that point is on point. Thank you so much, the Huron. That's a crunchy one, I have to say. And guys, someone also, Nick the nice guy, says, guys, remember the guy who became the first effective boxer and MMA fighter was always lighter and less muscular than his opponents. I'm not sure if you're talking about Gracie here. The Gracies were crazy before. I remember one of the fights that they had was insane. Gracie ended up choking the guy out, submitting a big guy. If that is the fight that you're fighting, amazing comment. Thank you so much, Nick. Then we go to Ronan says that come on, even the legendary Chad Chin of Net won't be able to cope with being hit by Hercules, the mighty god himself. I mean, think about it. Dwayne and his muscles swinging full. Think about defense aside. Just winging to KO Nate Diaz. That would be quite the scene. I don't want to see that happen, but man, what a show it would be. Thank you so much, Ronan. Beautiful comments as always. Then we go to Colin. Colin is saying that, I mean, The Rock was a wrestler and he's huge. So if it goes on the ground, I don't know how that would play, because The Rock, if he's a wrestler, that if you count WWE as wrestling, or if The Rock has got some really, really good wrestling background, like he's got a good takedown defense, he's got good takedowns, slams, then we can see that he stand a chance of winning. However, Nate Diaz is a BJJ, I think 2-time master or whatever they call them, black belts. So that can make it tricky, because on the ground things can change. One simple mistake with BJJs and you are toast. One simple mistake. I remember Charles Sonnen versus Anderson Silva, how that fight pan out. Silva was getting laid up from bell to bell. And then last minute in the 5th round, I believe, he just locked in a triangle, and that was the end. Crazy fight. So it's interesting. It's interesting how this would turn around. So then we also have Jack Daniels saying, I'd pay $100 to see boxing or MMA match between these two guys. Yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you so much, Jack. Then Nate. Rios is saying that Nate will turn him into a pebble. That's a crunchy one. That's a crunchy comment right there. Thank you so much, Rios. I think one people's elbow and Diaz will smell all smelling salts. Yeah, so Devin, thank you so much. I don't know if he can take a spinning elbow from The Rock. Man, imagine how that would be. Chaos. Then George is saying that Diaz bros. So Diaz any day, according to George Worley. Thank you so much, George. Jack is saying at some point size does matter. I agree with that. There's a lot of sense in that statement. As simple as it is, as short as it is, size sometimes does matter. That's why Francis Ngannou or Overeem is not fighting in featherweight, or those lower weight classes, divisions. He would destroy everyone. So sometimes, yeah, weight does matter. That's a brilliant comment. Then we go to Cam Downey, who says Nate dominates, no question. Yeah, if it is using MMA rules, I think Nate stands some chance of doing some damage, or maybe submitting The Rock. But man, imagine wrapping his hands around The Rock's neck, huge neck. That would be quite the show, quite the scene. I would pay for a slow-mo replay. No, just kidding. Anyways, then we go to Mohammed, who says The Rock is an actor. Plus, he ain't like the 6'5" foot guys at best, only 1 inch taller than Diaz. Yeah, that's an interesting, because reach advantage also counts. He's 1 inch taller than Nate Diaz, and sometimes that can make a difference, especially when you find a good striker who knows how to use his distance very well and reach advantage. Like Adesanya is doing well with his reach advantages, even though his fights have been kind of lackluster lately. John Jones has been using his reach advantage very well, among other amazing fighters who use their reach advantages to their advantage. Then we have Marcelo, who is saying The Rock on his back would be like a turtle on its Yeah, imagine Nate Diaz just full mount, punching The Rock helter-skelterly. I don't know if that's a term to use here, but man, think about that. That would be insane. Just chaos. Rock, and I want to see that. I definitely want to see that. Then we have 42 Locos saying Rock bottom Whatever that means. 1, 2, 3. So Rock, I don't know if you have it for the Rock 42 locals, or you're saying that Rock would be at the bottom all the rounds, and then Nate submits him with maybe like a crazy amber or something. That would be quite the show to look at as well. Then we go to Silvers. Is this Anderson? No, just kidding. Not Anderson, but Silver Bullet Show says that, can The Rock use chairs? That's a crunchy one. That's a crunchy comment right there. Can The Rock use chairs though? If he uses the chair, I don't know if Nick's chin can take that. Can Diaz take a chair shot and kick out? These are the questions that need to be asked. Definitely, definitely. Are we allowed to bring a chair in an MMA fight? Oh, man, I don't know what Dana White would think about that. Dana White would go bonkers. But think about it. Like the commentators, if we have the commentators like Joe Rogan, DC, and John Anik, and they're all commentating when The Rock picks the chair, that would be insane. Imagine the face, the meme face that they would all make. That would be crazy. I want to see that happen. Crunchy comment there. Silver Bullet, I like that. I like that comment. Then Justin is saying that, look, bro, Nate may be a pro, but that man is an athletic, 240 pounds of human being, and Nate's not known for his boxing ability. I mean, for MMA boxing, Nate Diaz is doing pretty good. The Diaz's are actually very good at boxing. Both Nate and Nick, they're really good at boxing. They have some amazing, beautiful combos. I don't know how they would fare in real boxing, but if they were to fight, man, 240 pounds of meat or muscles against their that would be quite the show. Then we have Pete Fish, who is saying that The Rock get tired, too many muscles. Yes, a lot of muscles there. Definitely needs a lot of oxygen to fuel those huge muscles, especially if he's going to swing and wing like crazy just to KO Nate Diaz. That would be a bad idea for him, because by the end of first round, he would be breathing out of his mouth, and Nate Diaz would just be like getting into his zone. Wild comment. Dwayne would make it past the drug test. That's another crunchy comment right there. At M, thank you so much for that comment. That's a crunchy one. He's saying that Dwayne won't make it past USADA. I had to laugh at that. Man, that's an awesome one. I don't want to say much about it because I don't know what Dwayne The Rock is using, but I know he's jacked like nobody's business. Oh man. Then we go to YA. Who is saying that Rock gonna gas out and Nate Diaz gonna beat him the TF up. I believe that, yeah, he's heavily muscled, so definitely gonna gas out at some point. UFC is not a fake like WWE. Ooh, that's a crunchy one to that's a low one to the belt towards WWE right there. You Baraja Magar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right, but please excuse me if I pronounce that name wrong. But man, that's a crunchy one. That's a crunchy one, I have to say. Diaz by TKO after 2 stock. Now, that is the king of all the crunchy comments right there. The Stockton, of course, slap, puff, just like that. And The Rock is on the ground. Oh, I mean, he said 2. So yeah, let's give him 2 Stockton slaps. Then we go to Skylar Deacon, who says weight classes exist for a reason. Brilliant comment. That's a brilliant comment. Yes, they do. Because you don't want to see mayhem. You don't want to see road carnage in the octagon. That would be wild. The Rock doesn't need dollars. Ooh, that's probably true. But actually, who doesn't need money? Imagine if this was a super fight organized by UFC, because I know Dana White is really good at promoting such fights, and The Rock is promised like 50 million, and Nate Diaz is promised like 25 or 30 million plus pay-per-views. I'm pretty sure they're signing up for that. Nobody would want to take that. Conor would have signed yesterday already. No, just kidding. But yeah, there's a reason for weight classes. Just saying, never mind me. So it's interesting that this guy's name is Never Mind Me, and he's saying never mind. I mean, never mind that there's weight classes. Brilliant. Then it depends. Is this scripted? I hope it is not scripted. I hope it is a pure fight where people are allowed to bleed, not like the WWE fake ones. Did I just say that? I apologize. Maybe they're fake anyways. So let's just keep going. Then we go to Kuso is just laughing. Ian is saying Royce Gracie versus Ken Shamrock. Yes, that is the fight that I was thinking about when I read the first comment about weight matters. And yes, Royce Gracie versus Ken Shamrock. That was like when MMA was just starting. MMA had to prove itself, and Royce Gracie proved that MMA had a future in the market. Actually, we can say that UFC and MMA is built upon that single fight. Thank you so much, Ian. Very, very smart. For MMA legends, you guys know. Then we go to Black Ice, who's saying that The Rock could smash him. I have to say it like Khabib or like, yeah, the Dagestani brothers. The Rock could smash him every day. Yeah, I mean, if you look at weight size, if it ends in first round, I think Nate Diaz is getting KO'd. Then we go to Japse, who's saying Diaz was always garbage, but he'd wreck The Rock. Yeah, I doubt. I don't agree with the part that says garbage, but wreck The Rock, I see some sense in that. So thank you very much for that comment. J. Castro, Black Adam. Yeah, Adam was a huge human being, and The Rock is. So that summarizes that. Then TQ is saying, bro, WTF, are you all smoking? Diaz would mark The Rock. That's interesting, Tiki. Thank you so much. The Rock is nothing but steroids. I got Nate all day. I'm not sure about The Rock being on steroids, but it is probable, not highly, but probable that he could be. I'm not sure. Then Christy, who is giving us a very beautiful review here, and Christine is saying, let me see, fake wrestling degree, heavy hands versus second degree Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, polished boxing, and not even child could take Diaz down. Go watch his video about it's true. If the biggest arms in wrestling Oregon couldn't take Diaz down. Good luck, Rock. He could throw him around, sure, but Nate just needs to lock his arms or legs around that big neck and he'd pass out in 6 seconds. Wow. That's a very analytical comment. Thank you so much, Christian. Yes, and a lot of truths in that, actually. Once you're in a deep, tight choke, it only takes 6 seconds. I mean, unless you're Ben Anderson, who I've never seen tap to any deep chokes. I don't know what Ben Anderson is made of. His submissions have always been have come from armbars, but I don't think anybody else has ever submitted him by a naked choke. I've never seen that happen to to Ben Anderson. Smooth Ben Anderson. So yeah, it could happen. We don't know what the Rock's gas tank is looking like. Then Yuan is saying Rock is such a pose. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that marks our very first Crunchy MMA comments. Let me know, guys, if you like it. If you don't, we can switch it up on how to present it. But man, beautiful comments. I love to read all of them, but because of time, we have to call it. Thank you guys so much, and have yourself a wonderful weekend. Till next week. Bye now. Keep it JM, and remember to subscribe. Thank you.